morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I am in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and today I have two guests with me. So without further ado, I'm going to ask our guests to introduce themselves and to tell us what they do. So we start with Sue.
Hello, Celeste. Good to be back to your podcast. Hi, I'm Sue. I'm a Malaysian woman, and I find it very interesting that the topic is what is a woman. So I'm looking forward to share my perspective of what I think is and feel is a woman. I'm a consultant and online based healer. Okay, so in other words, I do energy healing and I do heart-to-heart talks and also trauma specialist in a way. And also my clients are 90% online. So, and then I meet with a lot of nationalities and other women from all walks of life. So I feel that there's nothing that I haven't seen when it comes to like what defines a woman, and also the teenagers who are looking for an answer to who they are in terms of identity. So I that's why I agreed to talk in this podcast, because this is a multifaceted topic and it's not just a black and white thing. So thank you, Celeste, for having me here.
Okay, you're welcome. And my next guest, Dara, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Dara. Thank you, Celeste, for inviting me to this podcast. And of course, hello to everybody who will be watching this too. My name is Dara. Basically, I'm a consultant, a financial consultant. That's how I make my money now. But because of my experience in performing and hospitality, I also double up sometimes doing shows. Basically, it's like what we call the paper doll shows here in Malaysia. My role in the show would be hosting, kind of like the one who have the comedic stand-up kind of thing, which I enjoy a lot. I'm not a woman by birth. I'm a trans woman. I've been a trans woman for more than 2 decades now, and so I am comfortable, very much comfortable with what I am at the moment, regardless of how the society in Malaysia is treating trans women. But I am surviving. Yeah, I think.
Okay, thank you. So we use that word woman a lot. So just for those who are new, who don't know me, I am nothing. I don't do anything. I just exist. But I have this podcast and I like to know things and to learn things, and especially to talk about things and to analyze and work out things. Okay. So the reason I asked Dara and Sue to do this podcast is because if anyone has seen the Matt Walsh video, which is called What is a Woman? It is now behind a paywall. Before it was open until I think they had some issue with YouTube and the world about the topic. Okay, so in this video, he goes around asking people in a lot of countries, what is a woman? And he even went as far as Kenya, and you'll be surprised at the things that how people responded. So I have a few questions here that I'm going to ask my guest, and then we see how we work through it. Okay, so I think I'll ask the first question. So, okay, so anyway, with the Matt Walsh podcast, what people were saying is, number one is that woman is just a label. So I want to know what you ladies think about that. So,
can I say first? Yeah, I kind of quite agree with the word woman is a label, because I mean, as opposed to female, you know, I mean, like this one has been asked and discussed among us whether whether we are female or we are women. Okay, I mean, because like for me, female is biological, like you, I mean, it's medical. I mean, I won't say biological, it's more medical term, because that's how you will be treated. I mean, let's say if you are going to a hospital, something like that, then whether you're female or male, I mean, it's very important, because the body is constructed differently. But a woman is more like what a person becomes when they have reached a certain age or a certain point of their life. I mean, so there was like a saying that says not every boy grow up to be men, because like boys like me grow up to be women, but then of course after a while there was also the issue that, oh, you're not really a woman because you were born male. So that's why I think the definition is now even more defined, that yeah, we are women, but we are trans women, meaning like we transition, yes, we transition into womanhood, so it's quite correct when he say women is actually a label, because like because like not because like not every female will turn out to be women either, you know what I mean? So it's a label.
Okay, so I actually watched the review of the podcast, and also snippets of the podcast of Matt Walsh after Celeste brought it up. And it's interesting to see how he interviewed, like it's a documentary that interviewed different people who are into this this field, okay, of identifying the gender and also sexual identity. And I do see that he has provided a very neutral point of view for the viewers to make their own judgment, okay, to come to their own conclusion of what is what, okay. So I feel that at times he does appear like he's attacking the specialists, okay, but he did it in a very how should I put it? It's in a very, I would say it's quite professionally done, okay, but it's like really in your face. He said all the things that nobody dared to say it in people's faces.
Okay.
So like, yeah, so it's like the one. So what is a woman actually? A woman is just something that a person who is fully grown, an adult. A girl cannot be a woman. That's my understanding. And a woman is feminine, okay, in my understanding. A woman is more feminine, okay. And also last year I felt more like a woman than ever before. Before that I felt like I was more strong, I was more masculine. Like I hate it when people say women are weak, because I don't want to identify as that. So I was actually, even though I'm biologically born a woman, I wasn't really comfortable being a woman until, like, I would say last year. Like when I really come into my own being and I embrace everything about being a woman, okay. And for me it is, yes, I agree, it's a label, and also it's an identity. Like if you feel you're a woman, you're a woman. Okay, if you're born a woman but you don't feel like you're a woman, then it's fine too, you know. So why are people so like fixated on making sure that you identify as what, you know? The society has nothing else to do. So, and then the other thing about being a woman is that why I was feeling so uncomfortable is because I had problem conceiving. Okay, so after I got married, then the next thing, you know, like the society detects is after you get married, you check that off the checklist. The next thing is you must get pregnant and they give birth. So not 1, 2, 3, you know. So then after that, like mission accomplished, check, check, check. So when I couldn't, then I felt very angry. And I did feel like my womanhood is challenged. Like I'm not a real woman until I can give birth to my own child. Yeah, so there were many factors. It's not only my fault or any whatever. So that's not the point. But like I just tried and tried and tried, but it didn't happen. So but then there's this inner motherly feelings that are just bursting to come out. So in the end, I opened my heart to receive 2 children into my homes, babies. Okay, so I adopted 2 beautiful children. They are 10 and 6 now. Actually 10 and 7, yeah, new year already, 10 and 7 now. So yeah, and then it happened, and then I joined this community of adoptive mothers, and then some of them actually were told that they are not real mothers because they did not give birth to their own children. Nobody dared to say that to my face, or else they'll, you know. So but they got it. So then that also, like, are you not a real mother? Are you not a real woman just because you couldn't achieve something? And there are also some people who say that just because I had breast cancer, I had double mastectomy, so I have no more breasts, am I still a woman? Or you have like womb cancer, you have to remove your womb, so are you still a woman? You know, so I mean, like, just because it's no longer there doesn't mean that you change. You know, if you are a woman for as long as you believe you're a woman. So, and it's very interesting too, because the teenagers nowadays, they are also more vocal, and they identify as they instead of she, even though they are biologically born as a girl. So they wanted to change their name from their female name to a more neutral name. So that happened in this generation of teenagers nowadays. And then, so they don't want to grow up to be a woman. And then their parents are very embracing of that as well. So there's a trend nowadays, not trend, but there's like a happening incident where it's more open and accepting. So, and then, so for me, yes, I agree, it's a label. Back to you, Celeste.
Yeah, okay, yes, I also agree that it's a label, because it is a label that is given to the female adult human being. You know, because every creature on earth has a name. It's a noun. You know, so that you can identify, if you talk about something, you know, like if I say I have a cat, and then you come here, and then for you a cat is actually a dinosaur, and then for you a cat is maybe a pigeon. So when you walk in here, you'll be, this is not a cat, this is a pigeon, and you'll be like, oh, but you have a dinosaur. But I'll be like, no, it's cat. So there has to, as far as I'm concerned, there has to be a label to name things, the noun. Like, even we have names. I am Celeste. Like, I can't walk in the street tomorrow and people say, you are Sue. It's like, no, my label is Celeste, because that is, you know, so that's why woman is a label. But to me, that label of woman, the definition of that label is a female adult human. Because my cat, well, my cat is a male, but my neighbor's cat is a female cat. But that is a female cat, feline. The species is female, feline. It is not human. So yes, it's a label. I totally agree. But where I think we are different, you two seem to be more aligned. Where I am not aligned with you guys is that for me, based on even the definition of it, the medical definition is that it is the name, the label given to the female human adult. That's why your girl is not a woman. So we are on the same track about that, because a girl is a girl, it's a minor.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and then there's also a baby girl, which is not the same as a child girl. And then there's a teen girl, and then you are a woman, you know? So yes, so we are all that. But then I also agree, I think it was Dara who said, even Sue said, woman also, it does not necessarily mean because you are a female human adult that you are a woman, because with that label comes a lot of things that makes you a woman. Because there's certain things which is societal, or also which is physiological, because of, you know, the way your body's shaped. You will have certain mannerisms because you are a woman. You know, like, you're supposed to be, usually you will be feminine, but there are some who are more masculine. So are they women? So I would say yes, they are still women, because that, according to the label, they're still female human beings. But then now we're getting into traits and into personality, which again is something totally different.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
those would be like called masculine women, or feminine
Yeah,
women.
but they
I
would
mean,
still
like,
be women.
yeah,
Yeah, you
women,
would still like
I mean,
hypothetical examples.
yeah. I think, I mean, if you don't, I mean, if I may just add on, I think from what we have been saying this short moment, woman is more besides just being a label, it is also characteristics, I think.
Yes.
Traits. Because, yeah, traits, because you have to have, I mean, this one, you cannot like say, oh no, I don't have this trait and I'm not woman. I mean, you have to have certain traits and characteristics to be labeled as a woman, because like, for example, like it's very interesting that the definition, like a girl is not a woman. Okay, fine, sure, that's fine. But then sometimes we do see young girls, behaving very like ladylike, like on the way to be a woman. So like in a way, she's like a small woman.
Yes.
So you cannot really like dismiss and say, oh, you have to be a certain age, a certain period of life, that only then.
No, but that is what it means, though. The label woman does mean age, was specifically says adult.
Okay.
Female. So adult, it's a. But then again, society will dictate what is an adult, because some people would say at puberty, so you are 10, you're already a woman. But like in general, it would be after 18, or after 25, when the brain is fully developed, or the uterus is fully developed. Yeah, but I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, and then I would like to also kind of like go back to the point where Sue said nowadays the children, they are just coming up with all different labels. Like they would prefer to be called they and things like that, I mean, I have been aware of this, I mean, that there are like so many different gender range spectrum now, which for me, a very traditional person, finds it very unnecessary lah, honestly. But then I cannot blame them for wanting to create this additional spectrum between male, female, women, and men, because at the moment, the pressure from society, or the pressure from the society, especially the generation before them, as referring to the children, this older generation seems to want to box them up, instead of just like let it be, so that's why probably the people who are affected with this kind of like boxing in wants to say that, okay, I don't want to be boxed in. That's why now we have that wide range of spectrum, like before I only know like maybe like LGBT, like then it's quite defined, like, okay, you have lesbian, gay, bi, and trans, and then and then suddenly now there's like IQ or something like that, so I mean, it's like, okay, I mean, if you are I and Q, so what is that? I mean, like, I mean, yeah, traditionally, you know what I mean? I mean, like, why confuse yourself? Because let's say if you're queer, if you're a man and you feel like you want to be a woman, then there is already a label, a box for that, and then why want to add the queer part?
Other stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But then there's a thing that now, I mean, it's becoming more and more complicated when it comes to identifying, I mean, of course, at the end of the day, we can say, oh, just take me as a human being, but then that's not right either, because then it will be quite a chaos, because I'm a human being. Then where is
everyone's just a human being.
Yeah.
Everyone's a human being. And if someone commits the crime, it's the human being that committed the crime. It's not a specific man whose name is Claude.
Yeah. So probably for me, I mean, I wish we could turn back, and then before all this spectrum comes up, and then just say, okay, fine, just accept people for that. If they are men and then they will want to become women, then they are trans women. If they're women and they want to become men, then they are trans men. And then that's it. gender wise, that's it. No, we don't want to know like, okay, I'm a woman, but I'm not into sex. And, you know, then suddenly you become like asexual, or I mean, it's just getting more and more complicated, you know, yeah. Okay.
Okay, right. So next thing is that people were saying anyone who says that they are a woman is a woman.
Okay. I don't think so. I mean, anyone who says they are a woman is a woman.
Like, so my husband can just say he's a woman, and then
No,
he's a
I
woman.
mean,
So then that means I'm a lesbian, or I don't know what.
yeah, then it goes back to the characteristic. You know, if your husband has a characteristic, be it emotional and physical, then probably he needs to not just declare himself as a woman, but be a woman himself. You know, so you just cannot declare that, oh, I'm a woman because I want to be known as a woman. You have to have the characteristic and not only to convince the society, but to convince yourself that you are declaring the right thing, not just like being rebellious to prove a point. You know, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, because I don't know whether you have seen the video where there was this like one person who went into a shop, and then the shop assistant misidentified that person, and that person went berserk, you know. But then when I look at the video, I'm like, okay, you insist that you are a woman, but you don't have the characteristic as a woman. You have to at least make an effort to look like a woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, so be fair to the world, because if you're not, then people are also confused. So if you want to be known as a woman, the same thing, if you want to be a man for trans men, then make an effort to look like one, so that you will avoid this kind of like unpleasant encounter, and you will make the society around you less confused. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so if someone says they are a woman, then they are a woman. If that person is a woman, I would presume that is a woman, fully grown woman who is above 21 years old. So they know what they are. They know what they are. They know who they are. So I'll believe them. But if it is a 13-year-old who is still figuring out the world, tell me that I'm a woman, then I will have like, okay, let's wait it out first. Is it a phase, or is it like you just thought you are because you see this thing on TV or YouTube or whatever, you know? Then I will I won't believe it. Like maybe it's not permanent, maybe it's just a phase.
Right.
So I will give it benefit of the doubt. But if it's a woman, like a fully legal adult, okay, that comes out and say I'm a woman, okay, and like I remember I have this friend who identified as a boy until we went to undergrad studies. And then there's this one time, like he just told me it's a she now, okay? But at that time he was not transitioning yet. So then I did ask him, so do you like male or female? So instead of answering me like straight to the point, he actually said, "Kan saya perempuan." I'm a woman. So at that time, like, he identifies as a woman, but he hasn't done anything to himself yet. But he feels like he's a woman. And at that time, he was in his early 20s. So I believed him. And he's happily married now with adopted children. And it's a she now, okay? So he
But
made
how old? But you said it was he that time was 13. So he
no. He was in his 20s already. In his 20s.
Oh, when he said before his transition.
Undergrad studies, so early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. So I believe him when he said that, because he said it with such conviction in his eyes. Said it.
So that's what that was what I always feel too, you know. I mean, even though I had the male biological characteristic, but emotionally it's a characteristic of a woman. because like, I mean, so I totally understand your friend, because like it's like I'm a woman in the making kind of thing, you know, wait till the time where I will decide that I will be physically a full woman kind of thing. So that's the part where I mentioned that it is a characteristic that makes you a woman, you know. I
Right.
mean, yeah, if you have to have that kind of characteristic, you know, because if not, then it won't be right. It won't be right for anyone to insist that I'm a woman, you know. You know, like I mean, back to that person that went berserk in the store, you know, if you were to look at that person physically, it's like it's like, I mean, I'm not making joke about it, but then I ask myself, which part of you is a woman? You know, I mean, like at least you would have, if you don't have the characteristic physically as of a woman, at least you would have the mannerism. You know what I mean? But this person didn't have that either. So yeah, so I can understand why it happened, you know. So you have to have that characteristic, whether it's emotionally, internally, and projecting that kind of characteristic. So then it'll be okay that you say that I'm a woman, like your friend, saya kan perempuan. So I mean, like that kind of like language and the body language, you can tell that yes, this is a woman, you know.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, so actually I agree with some of what both of you have said. Okay, because I understand, yeah, you are right. A woman, it's observable. Being a woman is observable. You can see the mannerism, the traits, the way they move, the voice.
Yeah.
It's observable. And then also, why for me, I won't just accept when someone says I am a woman, because like in your case, Dara, and in like your friend's case, I would accept that. You know why? Because you have gender dysphoria. Because there is something in you that you were born in the wrong body. This is what your thinking is. So this is a mental condition. So this is very understandable. But if someone like my husband just decides because he wants to go for free on ladies' night, he's a woman, I would know the difference, because the mannerisms are not there, the traits are not there. There is no sign of this dysphoria. And I can notice this because I have BDD, I have body dysmorphic dysphoria. So I understand gender dysphoria. Dysphoria is observable. It's an observable condition. So both of you, you know what I mean? I can see where the crossover is. Yeah, but you said the right thing. Yeah, the characteristics must be there, because if a woman is a very definite aura, the way of movement. And I am the last person to be saying that, because I don't have those things, but then I'm a biological woman. So, you know,
and then also, Sue, just now you mentioned that the moment you couldn't conceive, and then you felt like you're not a woman anymore, you know, like your womanhood is less and things like that. But I mean, if you don't mind, I mean, like, I think when it comes to being able to get pregnant and things like that, it has got nothing to do with being a woman. It is being a female, you know. So probably, yeah, you know, because only female can have that ability to do like conceive and whatever. But then, of course, now that you are a mother, you adopted, then that is what a woman do, you know, like another part of being a woman, to have that maternal nurturing, taking care of children and things like that, you know what I mean? So I guess that is also like confusing for our society, because when you cannot bear a child, then you're not a woman. No, I am not a female then. I mean, I'm not like a productive female, but I can still be a woman because there's always an option for me to adopt. I mean, the same thing for me, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I mean, just wanted to reassure you.
Thank you.
And congratulations for adopting and being happy with your children, you know, I mean, like, yeah, you know, I mean, to extend to just extend a bit this issue about adopting and all.
Yes, please
I
go
mean,
on.
yeah, I mean, like about 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to adopt, you know, but then I know that it's not convenient for me to adopt to begin with because of a lot of things, you know. So, but then that doesn't make me feel less, I mean, a woman, because I mean, I still have that nurturing characteristic, you know, and I think that's one of the characteristic of being a woman, you know, nurturing. Don't confuse with being the word caring, like for fathers and things like that. I mean, you know, I mean, like, you know, like yeah, because the woman's nurturing is just not to say different, but you know, it just has that kind of that the womanly touch, you know, when it comes to having children, you know. So yeah, so that's why, I mean, like, you don't have to be a female to be a woman, because when it comes to children or having children or adopting children, even if you're not female, you can be you can have that women characteristic, you know. Yeah, that's what I feel. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Dara. Actually, it was in my 20s when it was very badly I took it very badly because you know, like, you set a goal, then you cannot get a goal, then you after that you're very disappointed, and went through all that cycles of injections, fertility treatment, and everything. You know, you have your hopes high, then it's crushed at the end of every month. So I actually sunk into depression at that time. So a lot of, you know, doomsday thoughts came in, and then everything, and then the society, you know, every time they see you, say, why kenapa perut tu kosong je? Like, they will ask it to your face. It means that, why is your belly empty?
Yeah. So it goes back. It goes back again.
So it's the society's
society.
You know, they put it on you, and then say, what's the use of getting married? Don't you know how to have sex? You need sex tutorial.
That's
very crude.
Yeah,
like
so cool.
even people that I just met at a party, they will ask, hi, I'm Sue, hi, I'm what? Then after they say, oh, you're married, how long already? You don't know how to have sex, that's why you don't have children. Oh, stranger, that just sentence straight away shoot that to me. So it's a whole new spectrum of being a woman who's biologically female. Okay, when the society comes in, you know, the very kepochi society with all the people who just think that they have a say in your life, including strangers, very intrusive. And so at that time, I took it very personally. I was younger, and so it took me about 20 years to come to peace with that. Okay?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, F you, you know, who are you to tell me how to live my life, you know, and you cannot please everyone. And then, so that's how I'm like, wow, you know, like people who don't care about people's opinion about them, they are much happier. So why should I care, you know?
That's me.
That's very interesting.
And Celeste is like, I don't care. I don't care
about people.
That's very interesting.
I'm a lady boy since I don't know how old I am. Me, I roll with it. It. If you think I'm a man pretending to be a woman, so be it.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because I'm assuming, and I think I'm not wrong in assuming, that we have all reached the age and have come to the point where we are very comfortable with ourselves. So, you know, I mean, and then that's why we can talk about whatever that's happened in the past, or even the current situation, with a lot more insights, you know, which brings me to a point that maybe we should have got one like younger women, you know, like maybe even a teenager, like not teenager, maybe like 18 lah, because if below 18. Oh, you try, that would have been nice, right, to see what's their point of view, isn't it? Hopefully with this podcast, we have younger
Yeah, we will encourage them. Yes, yes.
to voice out whether what we are saying is they can identify and or they can know what we are talking about, because like all three of us, we have gone through a lot of things. I mean, like, you know, like even Sue said just now, I mean, like, fuck you, I don't care, you know, I'm so satisfied with my life already, I'm so settled with my life. Same here, you know, it doesn't affect me anymore with what people think, you know. But yeah, the younger one would be a bit more impressionable, because let's say if someone come up to them like, hey, you're not a woman. I mean, like, if I were to be 18 and a girl, you know, like a female, and someone come up to me, I'll be like so devastated. Mom, I'm not a woman. You know, this kind of things. You know, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of like response you get from this podcast.
Yeah, hopefully when they see this video, they will. But
yeah,
talking about young people, this is what they said online when I did speak to them.
Okay.
They will. Oh, I did a questionnaire. They will answer me online, but of course they won't. And this is Malaysians. Because you know, Malaysians especially will not say things in public, but they will on the keyboard.
Yeah. And what was the response?
They said, because I asked, are lesbians women? They said lesbians are not women. And this is because for some of them, a woman is someone who has relations with a man.
Okay.
That's all. It's not, so a lesbian, because she's not having relations with a man, she's not a woman.
Okay.
What if she's single?
Well, wait. Yeah, exactly. What if a woman is single, not having sex with a man either?
Because Wanita's single.
Okay. Interestingly, the person who responded, did you know how old this the girl, the respondent?
It's not just a person; it's a few. One will say, and then the others will chirp in, and then it's like a crazy thing.
See, I think that's when this kind of people they confuse between gender, sexual preferences, and
sexual preference and sex.
You know, because like right from the beginning, we have been talking about women to be a woman, you have to have a characteristic, you know.
Yes,
but because so it's not like whether you are sleeping with a man or a woman, I mean a male or a female. You know, even if you are sleeping with another female, if you have that characteristic of a woman, then you are a woman, you know, right? I mean, so it doesn't apply to say that lesbians are not women, because we have seen two very feminine person being lovers and they are lesbians. So how do you define that? I mean, if the person who responded to you sees this, they will be even more confused. How can two? Yeah, you know. So I think that's what like education, I think, or information is very important. But then in Malaysia, there are a lot of efforts to educate people, especially the younger ones, to understand this, but not many people would want to be educated that way, or not want to be educated with this kind of knowledge, you know, because to them they are like, no, we are set. There's only men and woman. There are only female and male, and there's only men and woman. And I'm like, okay, right?
Yeah. So the respondents are 18 years old.
18 and above.
Okay. So their religion, multi-religions, or just one religion?
No, I don't ask about religion.
Okay. So because Malaysians are mostly like, you know, like in a cocoon in a way. We are very backward in terms of our development of sexual identity, and also, you know, even sex as a tool. People don't talk about sex at all, you know, like it's like something that only you keep, you know, in like, so they don't talk about sex, they don't talk about, you know, infertility, they don't talk about adoption. Everything has to be secret, you know, so swept under the carpet. So and then the education doesn't help either, because I'm actually quite appalled at what some of the kids are learning in school, because it's so like either it's too much or too little. Okay, like and then the people who are in charge of sex education, they are some are quite crude and make fun of it, and some are giving too little information that they don't even know, basic
and incorrect information.
yes, and they don't even know how to protect themselves when they have sex for the first time. That's why we have all these things, that complications that come out with this, and then everything is lumped together, and and then there's no clear distinction of what is happening around the world. So in Malaysia, it's like they put you into boxes and they say you have to fit into this box. So like if you're a woman, this is what you do. If you're a girl, this is what happens to you when you grow up. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what, so there's a lot of dictation, like they're dictating how you're going to live your life, how you're going to think, how you're going to feel, and how you're going to be in a marriage, for that matter. So a lot of society's expectations that are quite outdated. I'm being very kind here, okay? so quite outdated. So all this, and there are little girls who don't even know like their basic rights as a woman. So
yeah,
I mean,
see, that's the whole thing. I think is the education part. Like for example, the word sex in Malaysia it's always associated to dirty things, but then the true meaning of the word sex is actually physical, like what you are. Or
Yes.
what you are supposed to,
Like female or male.
yeah, I have thought about this before. Like probably in Malaysia, it can be renamed as gender education or whatever, but then it'll be like very it'll be very narrow, because sex education is actually, yes, it is not only about gender and identification of yourself, but it is also like what will you need to do and to know so that your adult life, when you do have sex, will be less traumatic. You know what I mean? Okay, so there's a lot of things that we need to, like people are, it's a hassle to be a woman.
Yeah.
It's not easy, it's not just like saying I'm a woman and you're fine. There's a lot of things that needs to have that you need to have, and you need to be aware of if you want to say that I'm a woman.
Yeah, you see, so this is the thing, because that again comes down to the definition of woman, because men will not be talking what we are talking now. If you were a man, this is the difference between like what is a woman. It cannot just be somebody who says they are a woman. It has to be someone who can, these things that we're talking about, who experiences these things, because men are not experiencing getting pregnant and all this kind of stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
So the other thing I noticed online, and that is happening in the world, not so much in Southeast Asia, because people are a little bit more, they're more used to this. They are saying that trans women are women.
Yeah.
Trans women are women, yeah.
Yeah,
so
they are.
Again, depending on how much effort you have made for yourself or from yourself to warrant you to claim that you're a trans woman. Yeah, this one I have to.
Trans women are women, like
Yeah.
you and I are the same. That's what that means.
I see. Okay, if that's the case, then no. Trans women are trans women and women are women. That's how it is. See, you and
I think the same. I think exactly the same, because like I said the last time, I was born this way. And it's a disservice to you to say you are like me, because you had to go through struggles to be where you are today. First of all, you have gender dysphoria. It is not something that should be taken lightly. It's a very serious condition, and it has always been accepted as serious by the medical profession. That is why you were able to transition. And the other thing is you transitioned.
Yeah, that's why you can be called a trans woman.
Who you are. Me, I just came out and I was like that. So it's a
Yeah.
disservice, I feel, to trans women to say that trans women are women. Because
Yeah.
what you experience, I cannot even begin to fathom.
Regardless the experience or whatsoever, I mean, like, that's why I think trans women should be given its own gender
yes. Yes.
you know, because like
I
the
think
same as trans men, I think, you know, because
Yes.
so that's the progression or the development of how the world is now, you know. So before there was men and women, now just make it simple, there are trans men and trans women, you
Yes.
know. So yeah, trans women are not women. And
So Dara, would you be offended if people call you woman?
I won't be offended. I'm not very easily offended because if people because people who call me woman are not exposed to the fact that we prefer to be called trans women. You know, I mean, for me, I think myself and a lot of my friends are very proud to say that we are trans women, because we are not women. We don't want to pretend that we are women. You know, we have the women characteristic, but we are not like born female. So we are trans women. We are transition women, you know. And in fact, I mentioned to Celeste before in the previous podcast. In fact, when I went to the Jabatan Pendaftaran, you know, they said, oh, we in Malaysia, you know, we cannot put you as jantina perempuan because you were not born perempuan. I said, yeah, that's fine. I said, but is it possible for you to put my jantina as trans wanita?
Trans woman.
Yeah,
Yes.
trans woman, you know, because that's how I identify, and I don't want to confuse people. Number one, I don't want to confuse the doctors if I need any medical emergency, you know, to see that, oh, perempuan, then suddenly they put some whatever medication that is specifically women, you know.
For women.
Yeah, for women, you know, then I'll be dead. You know. Oh, interestingly, I don't know whether I spoke to you about this before, Celeste. At my medical examination yearly, you know, I found out that that there are two packages. They have male packages and female packages. Of course, I was like perplexed, like how different can it be? But then only when I look at the details, I realized that for male, when they want to screen for like when they want to do your ultrasound, you know, they have different things that they will do. And for female, it'll be different, because for female, let's say if you go for medical examination, then they will do like the breast examination and then the cervix and things like that, you know, pap smear and all, you know. So I'm like, how are they going to do pap smear on me? It doesn't even relate to me. So that's why after reading that thing, I say, can I have the male? Because I'm more concerned about the what do you call that? Prostate.
Prostate,
you know,
yeah.
prostate, you know, because like even though I have gone through transition, but my prostate is still there. So I would like to be examined on my prostate. I mean, when you do ultrasound, I would like to know how my prostate is doing. So so the medical people was like, okay, sure, fine, you know. So that is very important. Let's say if my identification card says that I'm a woman, you know, suddenly they'll be like, there's nothing female about her internally, you know. So but then if they were to put trans women, then they say, oh, okay, physically she's a woman, but internally she's still biology. I mean, medically, internally she's still needs to be need to be attended to as a male, you know. So I mean, that's why I said the government or the world should reconsider having that gender thing, you know, so that it will not confuse anybody, you know. And in fact, if I were to have the word trans wanita in my IC, I'll be like, yeah, look, they acknowledge me, I'm a trans wanita, you know, like, you know. But it won't happen in my lifetime, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so we did cover, because Sue mentioned about a woman who can't bear children, because, you know, because sometimes people will say a woman is someone who can give birth. But then does that mean that just because you can't give birth, you are not a woman? which we did cover. It's
Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes
it's not the definition of a woman.
there are so many factors that comes. It's not only the women's fault. Sometimes it's the man's fault as well. The swimmers are not swimming. Okay. And then
They didn't even
there's
learn
also,
to swim. They're like drowning there.
yeah, and then there's also unexplained, you know, like no rezeki. It means you don't, it's not time for you to conceive, you know, if it's not fated. There's also the powers that be, higher powers, you know.
Higher powers, yeah.
So now so yeah, I mean it hurt back then when I identified with that pain, but then after that I was like, you know, it's just society's expectation so that people will not go extinct. That's how we are programmed.
But then
yeah.
But then that's what I mentioned earlier, just now, that probably they need to equate being pregnant doesn't equate to being a woman. Being pregnant equates to being female. You know, then at least your womanhood is not affected. You know, even though you can't get pregnant. Yeah, you know, so you may not be a perfect female, but you can still be a perfect woman.
Right.
And sometimes people don't get pregnant for other reasons. They choose not to be pregnant.
They choose not. Yeah, like they are nuns.
So it's just I now that I'm older, I see that it's just society's trick for us to procreate and make sure the world doesn't go extinct. So there's still more humans, you know.
Yeah.
So
but I feel
that's why I wanted Wanita, yeah, because she's single and she has no children. But it's not that she can't have children. She just doesn't have, because she's not met the right person to have a child with. So does that make her less of a woman? No. And she probably won't have children.
You know, it's very interesting because the mak nenek means the older ladies, you know, they always say, oh, to be a full woman, you have to get married, you have to do this, do that, you know, you have to fulfill all these things, and then you are complete, you know, then you will feel complete. So that is the story that's sold to us. And even in the Western world, they also sell to you, oh, find a Prince Charming, get married, have babies, you know, and then the American dream, have the white picket fence, and then this beautiful house, and then you raise with a dog and cat or whatever. So that is the life. They paint this picture, so it became like oh, this is the only choice I have. If I don't have this, that means I'm incomplete. You know, that's the feeling, you know, where many people, even today's children, they are also, some of the families are still doing this to them, like you have to do this, you have to do this. If you don't do this, then you are less.
So my suggestion is, don't use the word woman then. Use female, you know, because we kind of like established the fact that to be able to get pregnant is only by a woman, by a female, you know, not by a woman, you know. So do not equate. Tell the makcik, I may not be a perfect female, which I admit, because I cannot give birth, but that doesn't mean I'm not a wanita. You know, saya bukan perempuan sempurna sebab saya tak boleh melahirkan anak, saya akui, tapi tak semestinya saya tak boleh jadi seorang wanita sempurna sebab kalau saya nak anak, saya boleh angkat, adopt, dan saya boleh jadi seorang ibu yang berjaya, you know. So do not, I mean, I think we need to make that kind of like conversation that when it comes to pregnancy has got nothing to do with being a woman. It has to do with being a female. A female, yeah.
And I think you're right about the word woman. Like, if there's such controversy around this word, why not just, and you know, because I travel a lot, and you know, when you get the visa, there's no such thing, well, only like for the West, like for Canada, I think, and UK, the Schengen countries, and like the EU countries and US, where they will ask you, maybe New Zealand, Australia, I don't know, where they will ask you male, female, and then other.
Yeah.
And then when other, I mean, you can put whatever you want. I mean, I put anything that I feel like I want to put on, and they accept it. It can be the most outrageous thing, they accept it. But yeah, because there's this controversy around women, yeah, I think it would be best if they change that word, or just like you said, just make it female, because there's so many ways of being a woman,
Yeah.
but there's only one way of being a female. And even if a female cannot reproduce, it's a biological condition. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you something else.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't it? So it's just like gender dysphoria. You're still a human being, but you have this issue. So if you're female, you're still female. You have everything that you're supposed to be female. It's just certain things maybe don't work.
Yeah.
That's all. It's like being intersex. You're still a man, but because you have it's an anomaly. It's just an anomaly. Because
So are you, if you're an intersex, are you still a man?
You have a biological anomaly.
Okay, so are you, if that person is intersex or classified as intersex, classified as intersex, will that person still be considered male or having both?
It depends. Yeah, it depends, because
I never understand what intersex means.
There's so many ways of being intersex. There's just so many ways. So each person will decide for themselves. But like my friend, and you know them as well. You just don't know they intersex, but I do. We've worked with them.
So I guess that one would be, that one would be.
So he says he's he, but he has an anomaly because he's got what's it, XYY. He's like I can't remember. He's got what's it called, Klinefelter's syndrome. It's just an anomaly, but he's male.
So that's physically and biologically lah, not
not like yours, which is
not characteristic, not characteristic wise that what we're talking about lah, right?
So this intersex is what again?
It's a biological anomaly.
So if this intersex,
you probably know many people that are off. Maybe you have one or two people you just don't know.
So if let's say this intersex person wants to identify as women,
as female, it can only be male and female.
Okay, but then so that would be physical lah, I mean biological lah, but then if let's say this intersex,
okay.
So let's say if this intersex person, what happened to my camera? Oops. So let's say if this intersex person wants to identify as woman, it is all right? I mean, like,
they can identify as anything, but they have an anomaly.
Yeah,
it's not like they are trans or whatever, or binary, non-binary. No, it just means you are a person with the issue. That's all. It's like it's like you're a biological male, and you have gender dysphoria.
So there goes my hope that on the identification card to have only four types of.
No, they still only male, female, and they want it like that.
I see. So you can.
But to them, they are different from you. It's very different because yours is mental.
So that's why that means if they are intersex, they can still be known as male or female lah, because it's got nothing to do.
Intersex is the condition.
Yeah.
Intersex. It's like example. If I may, Sue, if you don't like it, I'll cut it out. But like Sue is still woman, but she should be woman, but infertile. What is the word they use? What word would you use? How would you describe your condition?
Well, I couldn't have babies. It's not really my fault.
So
I still have a swimmer.
Yeah, but would you just say you are infertile?
I won't say I'm infertile.
Okay, you have a reproductive condition.
I couldn't have
non-productive.
I couldn't have babies because it's also my husband's problem, you see. So just because my husband is infertile, how can so that's why I just say I'm unable to conceive, like without having to explain it's my husband's swimmers and everything. So that's why I say I went through fertility treatments. I did not say I was infertile. Okay.
So now that we've just had this discussion about what is a woman, what do you, I use this word lightly, label yourself as? Can I start?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am a biological woman. And
Okay.
I am married to a man, so that makes me heterosexual, observably heterosexual, because sometimes, I mean, you don't really know what my sexual orientation is, but because I'm married to a man, you can assume that I am heterosexual, but that might not be the case. Not saying that I'm not, but I'm just saying that might not be a case, because sometimes women or people make decisions. They don't want to maybe live a gay lifestyle, so they make a decision, okay? But I live a heterosexual lifestyle. I am a mother, and I'm a mother because I'm a woman, because the word mother goes, the noun mother goes with the noun woman. There's no such thing as I'm a mother because a man can also be a mother. No, no, no. I'm a mother because that's the word. That's the semantics now, linguistics. That word goes with mother. But my expression, how I present myself, I think I am more what they would say non-binary, because I don't really follow the gender construct of society, because I'm a bit more masculine, even in my mind, and the way I dress sometimes, well, let's say 80% of the time, the way I am, I think my traits are more masculine, which is a little bit more aggressive, argumentative, opinionated, which goes with, so they say, with having more masculine traits. Okay, Abis.
So,
Okay, I'm biologically born with a vagina, so that makes me a baby girl who grew up to be a teenage girl, and I never identified as anything else other than female in my whole life. And yeah, but then so the so-called setback, like I couldn't get what I wanted, that is to conceive, actually made me question my femininity, like how feminine I am. Okay, and I became quite aggressive in a way. Like I was very rough. I was talking loud and just very angry with the world as a whole. And I wore a lot of pants. I wore a lot of pants in the past. Like I identify with being like masculine as being very strong. Okay, so I was wearing pants all the time. And only in recent years that I started to be more feminine and wear more dresses and be more sexy and, you know, get more tattoos just because it's sexy, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, becoming a woman. So embracing that term, being a woman, you know, and truly embodying it, you know. So it's not just because I'm biological, I'm automatically a woman, you know, like I don't feel a woman until recently, in recent years. And then also, as far as sexual preference goes, I love penises, okay, but I'm very attracted to females. So I would consider myself bisexual. Okay, I appreciate the female body. I love females. Okay, I've kissed certain females before. Okay, and all that. So, but just that, you know, I wanted to be a mother, so I chose a penis. But unfortunately, that didn't work. So, I mean, that didn't work to give me what I wanted, which is children. But it's fun. It's fun to write. So, yeah. So I guess the label I would put on myself is I'm a mother, and I have really come fully to terms with the fact that just because I don't have biological children, I'm not a mother, because I am an adoptive mother, and that doesn't make me any less of a mother. I'm a real mother as far as it goes, you know. So some people, they use the wrong term, like, so where's the real mother? I say, I'm the real mother, you know, when they ask me, because I'm very open about the adoption, and I'm very open with my children too, you know. And then when my child, like in like 6 years old, trying to understand, but you're not my real mother, I say, I am your forever mother. Okay, I am your forever mother. Okay, but I am not your biological mother. You did not grow in my belly. So, but I will always be your mother here. You have me here. So she said, but you're not. She's trying to grasp, and it's, so I'm comfortable with the label. Okay, that I am a mother, And just because my child cannot understand it, like she's trying to come to terms with all these labels, doesn't make me any less of her mother. Okay, so yeah, so many interesting conversations has been had about my identity, how I label myself as, and I'm a wife. Okay, I'm still a wife to my husband. We've been together for close to 20 years, and I also call myself a feminist, I guess, in a way. Not the kind of hating feminist, because I love penises. Okay, so I cannot say that I hate men, but and that also prompted me to come to a partnership to start Divine Feminine MY Malaysia, which includes men and women, to talk about feminism and talk about how being feminine, being a woman, and how do you support the women in your life. So it's a free to join thing. Yeah. So yeah. So you have been off Facebook for a while, Celeste. So so it just started, I think, less than a year ago. So that's when I was like, okay, let's start it. So I partner with another woman, okay, who is of childbearing age. And so, yeah, so it's very interesting to see two different women coming together. One very fertile, the other one couldn't conceive, coming together and talking about feminism, talking about femininity, being a woman and all that. So yeah, and then there's so much stigma that people attach to talking about all of this. So we want to make it normal, all the things that come around all this topic of being a woman, how do you feel as a woman, what people see as a woman and all that thing. So I guess it's a very good place to start with this podcast.
Okay. Ms. Dara.
Okay. I'm a trans woman. Yeah, I'm a trans woman that has all the characteristics of a woman in terms of emotion, physical, mannerism, whatsoever. So, and my sexually, I will identify as straight because I only like men, even though I don't think about them anymore. Been there, done that, so yeah, yeah, I think mine is very simple.
I see what you mean. Okay, that was a very interesting conversation. So thank you again, Sue, and thank you again, Dara, for being with me on this podcast. And I'm sure we're going to do many more, because I can see we have a lot of things we can discuss.
So yeah, thank you, Celeste, for having me on this podcast. And it has been very interesting to exchange all the banter and knowledge and opinions with Dara and you. So yeah, thank you for having me, and looking forward to more podcasts with you.
Okay.
Same here, Celeste. Thank you for having me again. I was worried that I will not have things to talk about, but then I'm glad that it went pretty smoothly. It's very interesting, so looking forward to be invited again. Thank you.
If you identify as a woman and you would like to explore your femininity, or you are a man who are actually wanting to honor the woman in your life, do feel free to join the free group. You can just type the Divine Feminine MY, and where you will be in a community of men and women, where free information and resources will be provided with options for you to participate in. And it's more spiritual. It's not religious at all. So it's open to all. We have members from all over the world. Okay, it's in English. So if you understand English, feel free to join us, and see you there.
Me, I hope that everybody will benefit from this discussion. And of course, I hope that the world will get better. World peace, Miss Universe.